everyone, and welcome back to Life with Horses. I'm your host Arwa, and today we're going to be talking about something that I really think is really interesting and honestly quite sweet as well. We're going to be talking about horse friendships. Now, if you spend time around horses, you'll probably notice that some horses always seem to stay together. They graze together, stand together, and sometimes even get upset when they are separated. This makes many people wonder, do horses actually have best friends? The simple answer is yes. They do form strong bonds and friendships with other horses, but horse friendships are a little different from human friendships. That's exactly what we are going to explore today. We'll talk about how horses make friends, how they bond, how they play, and what happens when they fight, what happens when they lose a friend, and some really interesting facts about life inside a herd. So grab a snack, sit back, and let's get started. When we think about friendships, we often think about humans. We think about people who enjoy spending time together, sharing interests, and support each other. Horses are different because they are herd animals. In the wild, horses survive by living in groups. Being in a herd helps them protect them from danger. A horse standing alone is much more vulnerable than a horse surrounded by other horses. Because horses naturally live in groups, building relationships is an important part of their lives. One thing I found really interesting while researching this episode is how that horses don't think about friendship exactly the same way humans do. Humans often build friendships based on common interests and equality. Horses build relationships within a herd structure where every horse has a place. There is usually a pecking order, sometimes called a hierarchy. Some horses are more dominant while other horses are lower in the herd ranking. When horses first meet, they usually establish this order quite quickly. Sometimes it can look a little dramatic because they are maybe chasing, pinned-eared, squealing, or even kicking. However, once the order is established, most horses become comfortable with their position. That doesn't mean horses don't have friends. They absolutely do. Many horses develop very close relationships with certain herd members and choose to spend more time with them than the others. Personally, I do think horses have best friends that they connect with them when they are turned out together. As I mentioned in previous episode, horses are social animals, so they naturally form connections within the herd. This is especially easy to see in the wild horses where living together is a huge part of their daily life. As humans, we can sometimes spot a horse's best friend by watching for mutual grooming. This is when two horses stand next to each other and groom each other's necks or backs. It helps them relax and strengthen their bond. Many owners also enjoy taking horses that are friends while out on hacks or rides together because they seem more comfortable when they can see each other. Sometimes horses play quite rough. To us, it can look like they are fighting, but often they are simply playing and testing each other's strength. This can happen even more when two horses haven't seen each other for a long time and are excited to be together again. One of the easiest ways is to spot horses' friendships is through mutual grooming. If you ever seen two horses standing side by side, nibbling each other's necks, shoulders, or withers, you've seen mutual grooming. This behavior is more than just scratching an itch. Studies have shown that mutual grooming helps horses relax. It can lower stress and strengthen social bonds. Think of it like friends spending time together after a long day. The horses aren't just cleaning each other, they are building trust. Interestingly, horses do not groom every horse in the herd equally. They usually choose specific horses to groom, which suggests they have preferred companions. Another sign of friendship is simply choosing to stay together. Imagine a large field with plenty of space. You might notice that certain horses choose to graze near each other all day. When they move together. When they rest near each other. Nobody is forcing them to stay together. They choose to. That choice tells us a lot about their relationships. Now let's talk about horses actually make friends. When a new horse joins a herd, things can be a little tense at first. The horses need time to learn about each other. They communicate through body language. They watch ear positions, facial expressions, movement, and personal space. First, there may be some disagreements. A horse might pin its ears, another horse might move away, one horse may chase another. These behaviors help establish boundaries. Over time, horses learn who they are comfortable with. Some horses become close friends very quickly, others take more time. Just like humans, not every horse becomes friends with each other's horse. Some personalities simply match better than the others. You may notice that younger horses often enjoy playing together. Older horses sometimes prefer calmer companions. Some horses are very social and seem to make friends with almost everyone. Others are more independent. This is one of the reasons why horses are so fascinating. Every horse is different. Now let's talk about play. Horse play can look quite funny to watch. Sometimes it can look a little scary if you don't know what you're seeing. Young horses especially love to play. They chase each other around fields, they run, buck, spin and jump. Sometimes they rear up and gently brush against each other. Other times they pretend to bite. To a person who doesn't understand horse behavior, this can look like a fight, but it's often is simply play. Play helps horses develop physical skills, it helps them learn social skills, it helps them build confidence, and honestly, it looks like they're having a lot of fun. One of my favorite things to watch is when horses suddenly decide to race each other around a field for absolutely no reason. One moment they are quietly grazing, the next moment they are galloping around as if there's somewhere very important to be. If you ever owned or ridden horses, you've probably seen this happen. Some horse brands can be incredibly attached to each other. This is known as pair bonding. Pair bonded horses may become anxious when separated. They may call out to each other, they may pace. Some refuse to focus until they know where their friend is. While strong friendships are wonderful, extreme attachment can sometimes create challenges for owners and riders. This is why many trainers work on helping horses feel confident on their own, as well as with their friends. Now let's talk about something a little sad but very important. Can horses grieve? Many horse owners believe they can. There have been countless stories of horses showing signs of sadness after losing a close companion. Some horses become quieter, some lose interest in food for a short period. Some spend time searching for their horse that is no longer there. One story I came across involved two geldings who were incredibly close friends. When one horse passed away unexpectedly, the surviving horse appeared deeply affected by the loss. Stories like these remind us how just strong horses' relationships can be. Of course, we can't talk a horse out exactly what they are feeling, but many experts agree that horses form meaningful social bonds and can be affected when those bonds are broken. Now let's talk about fighting, because yes, even best friends can have disagreements. Horse fights usually happen because of resources, personal space, or changes within the herd. For example, two horses may argue over access to food. A new horse entering the group can also create tension. Most of the time, horses try to avoid serious conflict. They communicate through warnings first. Pinned ears, raised heads, a threatening look, moving another horse away. These signs often solve the problem before a physical hype happens. When horses do fight, it can involve chasing, kicking, striking, or biting. Fortunately, serious fights are less common once a herd structure has been established. Most horses prefer peace over conflict. After all, getting injured in the wild could be dangerous. One thing I find really amazing is how much horse friendships can teach about horses themselves. Sometimes people see horses as large animals that only care about food and exercise, but when you watch them closely, you realize there is so much more happening. They build relationships, they recognize familiar horses, they seek comfort from companions, and they communicate constantly. They spend their lives learning how to live together as a group. In many ways, friendship is just as important to a horse as it to us. Before we finish today's episode, I want you to leave you with a question. Next time you're at the stable, riding school, or a field, take a few minutes to watch the horses. Don't focus on riding, don't focus on tack, just watch. Who stands together, who grooms each other, and who follows who always seems to be side by side. You might be surprised by how much you can learn by simply observing horse friendships. Thank you so much for listening to episode 16 on Life with Horses by Arwa. I hope you all enjoyed learning about horse friendships, how horses form bonds, and how they play, and why their social lives are such an important part of who they are. And remember, horses may not think about friendship exactly the way humans do, but they absolutely build strong connections with the horses around them. I'll see you all in the next episode. Bye!